Okay, at this time, we will call to order the Little Miami Local Schools Board of Education. The first order of business is opening of a public hearing on the issue of reemployment for three individuals that are currently in service retirement. At this time, we want to open for public comments.
Yes, these are three bus drivers who have been great employees over the years, and they are in the process of, they've indicated a desire to retire and return as employees at the base salary that we pay bus drivers. And we do have a need for bus drivers. There is a shortage out there, and they've been excellent employees, and they continue to be excellent bus drivers.
Okay. This time, public comments.
So at this point, if anybody wants to stand up and make a public comment about Ida Jo Allison, Nancy Woodhouse, or David Vick.
Glad you're here.
Glad
you're here. Just walk through the
I
door.
heard my name called.
Yeah.
We'll take public comment on that.
Gee, what could we say?
Any public comments? Anyone has anything to say? We'll just stand, state your name, and
Ida Jo, you're not allowed to talk.
yes.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, he is.
I know where you live if you talk about it.
You're talking, Ida Jo.
No, that was her.
Yeah, she did not.
Okay, if there isn't any, then we will close the public hearing on this particular item.
And then basically how this works, then there'll be an agenda item that will follow up. Pam, is at the end of, as a March board meeting?
Yes, at the March board meeting, they will be on then with their official retirement letters and dates and the official date of request for rehire.
At that time, we'll have to make a motion.
Sure.
All right. This time, we will call to order our standard meeting. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice?
Here.
Mr. Cremines?
Here.
Mr. Nemish? Here. Mrs. Tremack? Absent. Mr. Haas?
Here. This time, if you will stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we'll need a motion to adopt the agenda that you have before you.
I'll move.
Mr. Cremines?
I'll second.
Ms. Grice? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
At this time, I need a motion to accept the reading of the minutes for January 24th, the 31st, and February 21st, special meetings and regular meetings.
Oh, sorry,
I'm sorry, Mr. Nemish?
I'll second.
Mr. Cremines? Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll open up the communications and the visitors to the board. Mr. Powers?
Yes, thank you. Just an enrollment update, we're at 4,662 students. I just saw a few more students that were enrolled today, so we're a few more than that at this point. On the facility master planning, as you have seen from our board agenda minutes, we've had a couple of really pretty good extended work sessions with the board with our consultant Christy Boron in attendance to look at our facility master planning. The board, I guess, if you have any comments or anything, that now might be a time to share your thoughts, but I think the group has really taken the time to look into and dig into all the possible options. I know that there's a couple of options that are evolving now from the initial 5 that were presented, and that process is still occurring. So my thought would be we probably need a couple of more work sessions during the coming
That
months.
is correct, yes.
And then we probably should look at getting scheduled and coordinated with Christie to have those work sessions occur.
Okay.
We can probably come back around to that.
On the master plan update? Okay.
We've been looking for some space for central office. As you know, we're currently located in the buildings across the district. And during the process of looking, there's some unfinished lease space that's in the district. It's about 7,000 square feet. And I'm working with that leaseor develop a lease to bring to the board. Hope to have that information for you between now and the March board meeting. Got an update on Hopkins Commons. As you recall, that developer came to our meeting last April to talk about a possible TIF, which then evolved to an enterprise zone, which we actually came to a tentative agreement in principle on, and then went down to the township, and I think it kind of died there. I've been told and informed that the developer is now seeking annexation of that piece of land for that development into the village of Mainville. And an attempt to set up some kind of a TIF or an enterprise zone arrangement down there with Mainville. We haven't really heard anything more. If we don't hear anything, I think at most the developer would be able, by law, they can do a 10-year TIF, and the reimbursement rates to us as far as our school property tax are set in law if it's a 10-year TIF. So we'll kind of keep our eye on that, and ear to the ground to see what's going on with that. The Irwin property over on Grandin Road is coming up for a rezoning hearing at the township at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That property is currently zoned light industrial, and I'll be going to that hearing to express the district's concern around converting commercial industrial property to residential property. The developer wants to build homes on that. I guess it's a couple hundred acres that's down there. And I think it's real important that we have a good balance of business in the community to be able to support us and the residents of the community. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be attending that at 6 tomorrow night. Another bit of good news, Project Excellence is sponsored by the Area Project Council, and we annually we get nominations, and we select 2 teachers to be recognized, and this is a countywide teacher recognition. As of a few days ago, we had 114 nominations in the county, and most of the other districts, I think the highest next district had maybe 12 or 15 nominations. So that really speaks well of people in our community and their appreciation for our teachers. Next month, we'll also be bringing to the board a couple of items for your review and requesting approval on, and we'll have follow-up information ahead of the board meeting available to you, but Regina has been working with the high school staff to look at digital resources, and so we'll be having some teachers attend March board meeting to basically be available to talk about what they have done and to get any questions from the board that you might have about digital resources in the 4 core areas. And we'll be seeking approval for digital resources at the March board meeting with the idea that if we are going to make an implementation of new materials, typically we need time for PD for staff prior to getting out at the end of the year. Typically teachers work through the summer preparing for their courses for the following year. Another aspect of that is one-to-one update. We have selected a student machine for consideration. It's the Lenovo M23. It's a Windows-based machine for our students. It will provide us with more flexibility than the Chromebooks. It's also going to support students and student learning in a blended learning environment with new digital resources. If we're going to implement one-to-one next year, your approval at next month's meeting is going to be very important, as there are about 1,400 student machines that we're looking at purchasing, and those all have to be formatted and prepared for student use for the first day of school in August.
Are these small or are they regular size?
Stephen, did you bring one?
Yeah, there you go, Steve.
It's relatively small. It's a 12.5-inch screen that you could use. It's a multifaceted device.
Greg, if I understand what you're saying, you're going to bring this to us next month and you want us to pass it.
Yeah, we're gonna provide you with all the costs, the plan and everything ahead of the board meeting so that you have that to review.
We would, yeah, I would
It'll be-
definitely want
it'll be-
that
well,
way ahead of
it'll
the
be
board
a
meeting, because
couple
I'm
of
sure
weeks
there'll be
out
plenty of
in front of-
questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then if you have questions, you can send them to us even prior to the board
Okay.
meeting, and then if you have other questions, we can discuss it at the board meeting. And I think that's all I have in the way of an update. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, at this time, community comments on agenda items.
No one has
There
signed
you
up.
are. Thank you very much. Good. Okay, at this time, treasurer's reports and recommendations. It's good to see you back, Terry. Glad you're,
On the mend.
Don't breathe on us.
yeah, I hope you're feeling better.
I'm healthy, as far as we know. I ask for the board's approval on item 9, letter A, financial reports for month ending January 2017.
I'll move.
Second. Ms. Grice, second, Mr. Cummings. Any questions you want to add? Anything you want to explain?
Yeah, included reports, of course, with the bank reconciliation, also a financial summary of each individual fund within the district, and then also 2 different budgetary reports for the general fund, and also a revenue report for the general fund.
All right, there's no questions. Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kamish?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Thank you. Under item B, item 9, I ask for the board's approval of the following 2 contracts. Or, excuse me, item 10.
Item 10, Mr. Cummings,
I'll second.
Mr. Nemish. Terry, could you explain maybe this, especially the map testing there?
Yeah, Ken, actually, what we're doing, and I know I can get some help from Marla and stuff too, but what they're looking at is going from, we want to move to MAP for the testing. It's a more of a wider apparatus type of testing. We're getting rid of Aspire, Star, and I believe Iowa, if I'm not mistaken, to replace them. And there would be actually about roughly around a $12,000 cost savings also in replacing those other ones with MAP and, is it the pre-ACT, I believe is what it is?
We're going to administer the PAC.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marla.
The ACT, I'm sorry, whoever one.
Got you listening right
So we're essentially changing our testing software.
So it's,
We've
Good
been
money in
utilizing,
testing.
we've been utilizing STAR, and so this is a consolidation, it's actually overall a cost savings and a reduction in student assessment.
And then the second one, Navigate, is just our yearly for our app for Navigate.
okay. All right, questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kaminski?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you. Under item 11, I will ask for the board's approval of a donation.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice,
Always glad to get a donation.
I'll second.
Mr. Nemish. Okay, can you explain what that is, Terry, and then?
Yeah, this is a donation by Zach and Alicia Shepard. It's $500 to the High School Hope Student Organization.
Could you explain what that is? What is that exactly? What is-
The Hope Organization?
Yes, what is the Hope Organization?
All right, Kathy, where are you?
I
I know they use it for different things.
We got somebody right here that can explain.
It's a student service organization.
I'm not in it, but it stands for Helping Other People Everywhere, and it's a group
You
of,
do a lot of different things with it. don't you?
yeah, they do lots of community service, like almost every weekend. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, so it's basically a community service organization.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. All right, yeah, didn't know what it was. All right. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminski?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice? All right, next, I ask for the approval of a donation to Salem Elementary Library in memory of Patty Blackburn.
Mr. Cummings,
I'll second.
Ms. Grice. That was a very touching letter, I noticed.
Yes.
You wrote that there. It's a very,
Absolutely.
very touching letter, and it's very, very nice, very nice. Okay, any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kaminski?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Terry. This time, the superintendent's reports and recommendations. Mr. Powers?
Thank you. Ask the board's approval for all items listed under item A, personnel.
Mr. Kamin's?
I'll second.
Mr. Nemish? You want to go into any?
You'll just note, we have here tonight Lieutenant Colonel Chaz Peterson, who is our Air Force Officer ROTC instructor. That we're starting an Air Force ROTC unit here at the high school for next school year, and he's coming on board a little bit early to get the program set up. We were with Colonel Peterson earlier this morning, interviewing a senior NCO candidate that we'll have for you next month.
Okay.
Asking for your approval as well.
All right.
Nice to have you aboard.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
nice to be here.
It's been a long
All right, yes. All right. Other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kamin's?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Thank you. I ask the board's approval for item B, authorization to advertise for auction.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice?
I'll second.
Mr. Nemish? Questions, comments?
This is, basically a step that will give the board, putting Morrow up for auction, that will give the board, it will fill a square to give the board the opportunity to make some decisions about what to do with the Morrow Elementary site. Under law, if the board's going to divest itself or do something different with property, an auction is required. Prior to that, if you don't receive a minimum bid that's aligned to the value of that building, then you're free to sell or do whatever you want with that site.
All right. Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kamin's?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Item C, a memorandum of understanding with Sinclair Community College. This is related to college credit, the College Credit Plus program.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice? Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Nemish?
But I have a couple questions though.
Okay. Go right ahead. On the floor.
When we work with these secondary institutions, like Sinclair or UC Blue Ash or what have you, is there a way within the law or within our memorandum of understanding that we can make sure that they're doing two things? That the students who are going there and being paid by the taxpayer for those courses, to make sure that they are as successful as they can be in those courses, so that if a student fails a course, are we still on the hook, or is the taxpayer on the hook to pay for that course for a student who does not pass a course while they're there?
No,
Okay.
actually, I sign letters on occasion where we're sending a billing to the parent.
Okay.
Okay, so we both, okay.
That was one of my questions. And my other question was, with regard to students who are athletes attending those programs and taking those courses, are these institutions, colleges being cooperative with us in providing us with classroom data and progress as it pertains to athletic eligibility? We have a weekly eligibility policy here. And so are they cooperative with you when you ask for reports from them? Because if not, then I might have an issue. So that's my question is, are they cooperative with you so that students who are enrolled in these programs but also playing athletics are able to be held to the same weekly grade check
No.
as they are not cooperative with you?
No, and they don't do quarter grades, which is a huge problem with OHSAA
Mhm.
because of the quarter grade. So I've gone back and forth now, and I'm still going back and forth with OED and OHSAA to try to figure out what we do for first quarter you're fine, fourth quarter you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, but between them,
Yep.
yeah, so, and if we want to mandate it, that would be something you guys could possibly discuss to say, most of these students have access to Blackboard, where they would then print something off from that. It's not foolproof, but it's a step maybe in the right direction.
I think if we have a board policy that does weekly grade checks as a way, as a safeguard for all of our athletes that are taking classes off campus or another facility, that particular institution needs to be as cooperative as we want them to be with regards to getting us that information so that those students who are enrolled there are held to the same standard as a student who is not, who's walking our hallways every day with regard to board policy with weekly grade checks. Because that is, to me, that's the safeguard that keeps you from having a problem at the end, is the steps all the way along.
It would make my life a lot easier, and it would eliminate surprises that we have.
Have we had any meetings with Sinclair, for example, where we have had this dialogue or this conversation where we have this need?
The counselors have had meetings with them to try to get on all of our students.
Sure,
Right,
sure.
always have, and we get no response back. Like, really, with college credit plus, it all is in their court, and I've worked
They are
with
treated
them.
as college students, and, you know, college students don't have grade checks. That's part of the challenge with that program. We are required by law to have an MOU agreement with any institution that offers college credit plus programs. We have no choice in the matter. So this MOU doesn't speak to an operational issue, but by law, if there's an institution that contacts us and they want to have an MOU with us, we're obligated to create that MOU with them.
So if I'm on a board with somebody who's in the know at Sinclair, would it be out of line for me to ask them?
No, it wouldn't be.
Okay.
I'm sure this is a problem across the board in all high schools that have students that are either enrolled online or taking courses at their institution who have eligibility requirements.
OHSAA has, I've said, I've talked to Debbie Moore of the state a few times, and it's very frustrating for them because of, they're trying to implement the quarter tax, and colleges don't do it.
And I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but we're paying the bill, that makes us the customer. And if we ask them for a weekly grade check, because that's part of board policy, then they need to provide that to us as efficiently as they possibly can. We're paying the bill.
Yeah, but I think we're kind of like a captive customer.
Well, I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't think we're a customer by choice a lot of times, as it is, as Greg said, by law.
I have a question. Okay, so like,
Okay.
did you say, Blackboard, would that happen to be like their like electronic like grade
Yeah.
access, like their progress book?
Yes.
Is it like outside of law if we could get permission to like access students' Blackboard?
Well, that's the problem.
We could have the students print it for us.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, you
We could have
yeah.
our students, we could put it in the guidance for the students that they have to submit to us. Like Tiffany said, it's not foolproof by any means, but
Right.
it's better than nothing.
No, but
Well,
if-
and the two things are, and speaking from experience on this end, is that a lot of times instructors do not do weekly. A lot of instructors will do,
It may not be
it will be based, your grades based on so many percentages this, so much percentage is this, so much percentage is this. And actually, the grades aren't really, if you want to say tallied, until the end of the course unless the individual misses more. And I mean, I know that's what our criteria is.
Sure.
And by the end of the course, we have literally 48 hours to turn in all grades. So, I mean, once the course is over, they want us to turn it in right away. But during that time, there's no one that follows up on anything.
And even, I don't know if it's possible for us to put in our board policy that if we have a student who is participating in College Credit Plus, it's their responsibility to print off their grades weekly and bring them to the athletic department so that there is some account, there's some.
And like I
We
said,
have a
it
guidance
can be
document
foolproof, but it is,
for
it
them.
used to step in the record, like our homeschool students that are athletes. I have their parents or whoever is doing it, I have them email it every Monday. Again,
And as Randy said, what do you do with a student where they're in a course and there are no grades
Yeah.
until, you know,
Normally, yeah, they'll do project-based learning or whatever it might be, and then you get a group that's together and they're working on a project. They come in, they do certain presentations, and you're making an assumption they're moving forward. Then at the end, they drop the ball, and you know, so it could. But I don't know. I don't have an answer. I know that's how we do it at the school, and some instructors, they do not do any until the end, and they look at your, you know, what you've done, and, you know. Right,
What they
yeah,
have.
yeah.
I mean,
What you
they-
find,
Access to it.
That's right.
what you find is when you go to the college level,
They're not.
your mom and dad won't have access to it. Because
Amen.
you're
I
being
know.
treated as an adult, that's how colleges
But this is
are treating
Well,
our students who are under 18 and still in high school.
Okay, so there's no way to get.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know that we can do anything
As long
in a
as-
second. We
I'm
can
a-
try to
I'm a-
work something.
I'm okay to vote yes tonight, but we need to try to work on something because there are other avenues that this domino affects if they're unwilling to work out some kind of workable solution. And those issues become big and public sometimes. And it affects sometimes larger numbers of people. And so I will vote yes tonight, but I would like to see if there's some kind of solution we can work with them and if they will be cooperative. I'd like to give someone the opportunity to be cooperative first and see if they'll work with us.
Yeah, I know if there's specific situations in the classroom for me, a lot of times I will do certain things because students will have to turn in things weekly. But it's a specialty thing. I mean, it's not the norm, if you will, so. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grace?
Yes.
Thank you. I would like to ask the board's approval for item D, transportation driver handbook.
Mr. Kaminga.
I'll second.
Ms. Grace? Okay, comments, Gregor? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grace?
Yes.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Item E, approval of the 2017-18 Lowell Miami High School course guide.
I'll move.
Ms. Grace?
Second.
Mr. Cremins? Would you like to go over that, Greg? I kind of read through that and didn't
Did
highlight
anything
it.
change a lot?
I think there's an expansion of the Lead the Way, Project Lead the Way program, moving from junior high into the high school. We established those Career Center satellites at the 7th grade and 8th grade, and as well as a beginning year here at the high school. We'll have 8th graders coming in who have had that experience, in addition to 9th graders this year who had an introductory experience. So that program, we look for a growing process for students participating over the next few years. Kathy, is there anything else that's new or different from this year?
Handbook, we've got the ACT prep semester class for English reading and writing, since we've already had the math side. We've got ROTC, we've got Project Lead the Way. I believe those are all the changes in the courses.
And there might be an addendum coming related to a program we met yesterday with UC. There's an initiative coming out of UC to develop what's called UCIT in the IT career field. They've identified about 15,000 jobs in the region that are going unmet right now within the IT career field. And they've actually created an entry year, freshman entry year, that students, if we can work things out with them, there would be an option for students to create their freshman year of college during their 4 years here in high school, either via online or a couple of different options. But they basically would come out of high school if they finish their freshman year requirements with a internship, a paid internship that would allow them then pay for their sophomore year. And there's an internship at the end of each one of their years, so that by the time they go through the program, they'll not only have an undergraduate, but they'll have a graduate degree in IT. UC is partnering with Sinclair, and I think Cincinnati State, as far as other entry-level organizations that kids could go through with College Credit Plus.
All right. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grace?
Yes.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, items in our new business, informational items. At this time, we will entertain Warren County Career Center report. Ms. Grice? Or is it Mr.?
Mrs. Grice will do it.
Thank you. This month of February is the Career and Technical Education Month, and Martin Russell, who is the Deputy County Administrator, came in and presented a certificate honoring career and technical education. We also introduced the new Teacher Association leadership team, and then during our last meeting, we had students from each of our home schools, and they made a speech on how the Career Center and career education has really helped them.
Excuse me, that was really neat to hear what their stories were. I enjoyed that. Okay, sorry.
That's all right. Then we have our tech director gave an update on the technology in the district and about implementing board docs and improving the wireless internet connection in our buildings. We also accepted donations. We also are in the process of selecting the new superintendent for the Career Center. So we have quite a few meetings. And I just want to remind everybody, the Southwest Ohio School Board Association dinner is at Warren County Career Center, March 14th. And I think that's about it. We're doing some renovation, which we are paying for ourselves, but we are in the need of a bond levy. Go. I'm finished. Don't look at me like that. It won't be right away.
Okay, at this time, we want to schedule our listening sessions. Where's my number? There she is. You don't have a calendar?
There you go.
That's okay.
And let's do the listening session so you can be aware. All right, well, we're in February 28th, so I think we can go to March here. A little late for February, so let's look at March. Now, when we set these up, we're also going to be doing, we need to be mindful of our work sessions, so we'll need to also do those as well. I'm open for suggestions here.
Which one do you want to do first, or do you want to do work sessions first, or do you want to do?
Let's do the listening sessions first, and then we'll do the work sessions around those. Because there's still additional information.
So what days did we have them on the last time? We had one on Saturday,
And Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. Okay,
We're going to do the March the 13th,
okay.
I could, if that's a Monday night, I could do that.
Monday night.
I'll do it with you, Tony.
Okay, Melinda, can we try the,
Is that the BAC?
Oh,
Yeah, it's the
You know,
following.
that's spring
It's the
break.
following weekend.
Yeah, it's the 20th, the BAC.
Where's that one break?
That's spring break, March 13th.
all right.
Is it
BAC won't be meeting that night.
Okay, so you two,
We're gonna, like,
7 o'clock?
say, like,
6 o'clock?
Bobby, what works best for you? I could do either 6 or 7.
7's fine.
7.
Fine.
Can we try the Salem Firehouse again? We can talk to, you all right with that, Bobby?
Oh, yeah, I think that's something we should do.
Okay.
All right. Following April. That was your one on Monday night, am I correct?
Let's do early April.
Do early April. Where would you like it to be, Mike?
Coffee shop's good,
Coffee shop?
donut shop's
We
good.
do it on the 5th? That's a Wednesday. We could do Monday, Wednesdays.
April 5th, that's good, I'll do it.
All right, I'll go with you.
Okay.
And where'd you want to do that at?
Okay. We'll go to the coffee shop or
Coffee shop.
donut, okay?
Coffee or donuts, either one, it's good to me.
Well, which one?
If you want to eat, just go from one place to the next.
I don't think
Just walk
so.
that way through it.
Well, Wednesday they usually have cinnamon rolls at the donut.
Oh, that's right, let's do the donut shop.
Donut shop.
Donut shop it is.
What time?
Yeah.
Before the cinnamon rolls are
Yeah,
gone.
before the cinnamon rolls are gone, it's gotta be early. Yeah, I can't be bought, but I can be rented, you know, I mean, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm there, you know?
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock
On the 5th?
on the 5th. All right, April 5th and May.
He's gonna sign Nancy once.
Yeah, all right, Nancy's not here, so where do we want to put her? You want to
Nancy
do
likes to go
this
to
Saturday?
Kroger's in Meanville.
Yeah.
Or Saturday morning? Saturday morning, May the 6th or the 13th?
Let's do this, if you could do the 6th, I'll go with Nancy if you wanna do like Kroger's and
Kroger's.
Starbucks there in Mainville.
It's always
What-
food and drink.
Um,
And we've got the firehouse.
Since we're a few months out, can we check with Nancy and see what time I mean, it's fine with me if we do like 9 AM or whatever, but she might check her schedule first.
All right,
May the 6th?
May the 6th, Kroger's, and you guys are gonna work out the time, right?
Yeah.
And that's Tony and Nancy.
All right.
Okay, the next board meeting is on March the 28th, 7 PM here at the Media Center. At this time, community comments on non-agenda items. Okay. At this time, I need a motion for us to move into executive session to prepare for negotiation bargaining sessions with public employees concerning compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
When are we?
Okay,
Someone,
I need a motion.
I'll move.
Mr. Nemish,
Second.
Mr. Cremines. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.